on, ladies and gentlemen? And we're back making some Nintendo videos, and it's beautiful. I love it. We love it. We all love it. And today we are talking about why certain things with the Switch are so expensive. And at first glance, even I was like, what? At certain things, like when I saw the Pro Controller, I was like, what do you mean $70 for the Pro Controller? But that was when I was thinking that it was just a regular Pro Controller with buttons. It wasn't until I found out more about the accessories that the prices started to make sense. And now I'm kind of saying like, oh, okay, I get it. So maybe this video will help you see it in the same way and just enlighten you into why things are so expensive with the Switch, or seem so expensive with the Switch, and maybe take some of that anger away. Like like I said, I was confused at first as to why. I thought it was ridiculous, but maybe, you're feeling that same way, so maybe we could take some of that anger and confusion away from you too. So first, let's go over the Pro Controller. So if you look at a PS4 controller, Xbox One controller, base ones are $60. And if you look at some of the Xbox controllers like that, like I'm thinking of like the Gears of War one, and a couple of the special ones, they can go up to like $74 or some shit. And that's fucking crazy and just feels way too expensive for a controller. But then again, who knows what goes in behind it? But I don't know. I mean, for a controller, $74 for a little paint job and stuff. But it's a special edition controller. But basically, like I said, the basic controllers for PS4, Xbox One, $60. Okay. And what do they have in them? They have, the regular controllers. The PS4 controller has motion stuff in it, right? And I mean, the PS4 controller also has a touchpad. The Xbox One controller has the rumble, the special trigger rumbles along with regular rumble inside the controller. So I guess you could say there is like a bunch of tech, or a load of tech chunked into one thing. Okay, $60 for the basic controllers for PS4 and Xbox One. Now let's look at the Switch Pro Controller. Like I said, at first I thought, just like the Wii U Pro Controller, I thought it was just a regular controller with buttons, so you don't have to play with the Joy-Cons and you wanted more of a traditional controller. But that's actually not the case. When I found out what it actually has, like I said, it started to make sense. So what the Switch Pro Controller actually has in it, all your basic stuff as usual, plus it does actually have motion controls, unlike the Wii U Pro Controller. So the Switch Pro Controller has motion controls, but it also has the NFC technology in it, the stuff that allows you to read the amiibos, the near field communication stuff. But on top of that also, it has the new HD Rumble technology. So this is like new technology from Nintendo, HD Rumble. So who knows what that entails, how much that actually is, and what that costs and stuff. So depending on how you look at it, the Switch Pro Controller has one or two things more than a basic PS4 controller or a basic Xbox One controller. So there's some information on the Switch Pro Controller and why it is actually $10 more than a regular basic traditional controller. I hope that enlightens you some more. I hope that clears it up for you if you were confused. I'm sure a lot of people are, but there you go. There are the reasons why you have that $10 extra price tag. Still seeing it is like what, like I guess there's a big difference between $59.99 and $69.99, because $59.99 is heavy, but I guess people can see it as almost doable and just at that border of acceptable for a controller. But when we saw 70 at first, I know when I saw 70 at first for the Switch Pro Controller, I was like, wow, that's like a little too much now. That just tipped the scale a little too much for me. But like I said, once I learned of the extra things it had in it, and plus it has this new HD Rumble technology, it kind of made a little more sense. Now next we're going to talk about the Switch Joy-Con controllers. The two controllers, the left one and the right one, that you can detach from the Switch itself. So if you don't know, these are practically and basically Wii remotes. Newer, more souped up Wii remotes. So let's take a look at the a Wii remote price right now. A brand new Wii remote right now is $40, okay? So a Switch Joy-Con controller is $50 alone. Together, it's $80. So if you buy them both together, you save $20. So again, these are practically Wii remotes with the same kind of technology, a little more advanced, but you're also adding, again, $10 more for each of them. But this is a little tricky because the right Joy-Con actually has more in it than the left one, but I guess they kept the prices the same not to confuse people and stuff like that. So basically, talking about the right Joy-Con controller has a IR sensor that I guess people are saying, you could obviously point at the screen and use for replacement of the touchscreen if you're playing on your TV, but it also has that updated technology of it where they showed where it recognizes your hand and the shape of your hand and then how far your hand is away from it. So I'm sure that's a little bit of bumped up technology from a regular IR sensor. And also, again, that new technology, the HD Rumble. And it also has an NFC reader in the right one also to read your amiibos with that as well. So as you can see, there actually is reasons why the controllers have a $10 bump in price. There is a couple of extra things in there depending on how you look at it, and some of those things are known technologies a little more advanced, like 2.0 type stuff, and plus there's new technologies in them like the HD Rumble. So actually for me now, when I hear about the HD Rumble and some of these things for only $10 more, then it kind of sounds a little practical. Then I'm like, okay, only $10 more, we're getting this new technology and a couple of these other things. To me, it almost seems like they're actually giving us a break, because to me, I would think that they would charge more for these new technologies, but obviously, they can't. $80, they're really pushing it, you know what I mean? Like, they can't do that. They wouldn't do that. That would be way too much, because 70 already is breaking, right, just breaking through the barrier. But like I said, once I heard about these new technologies, and you see it's only $10 for this new stuff in there, it kind of, like I said, it sounds practical. It almost sounds like they would have charged us more, but like I said, for $10 more, it has this stuff in it, so it's not the same stuff. The Pro Controller is not a basic controller. It does have extra and new stuff in it. So I hope that clears up those two things for some people, and like I said, hopefully it helps you to realize why they're doing this. It makes you feel a little better about it. It's still a lot of money, but we do have more than 5 weeks. I thought the Switch was coming up soon, but I mean, February is a short month. January is almost over, but still, there is still a bunch of time. Actually, we're only midway through January, so there still is a bunch of time to save up for the Switch and everything. But yeah, so I mean, knowing all this stuff, the prices for me now seem a little more practical and a little more. It makes kind of sense. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So let's talk about the Switch real quick for a second before we go. And the Switch, everyone thought it was going to be $250. Without the Joy-Con controllers, it probably could be for them to make a profit and everything. But again, now knowing this stuff about the technology and what's in the Joy-Cons and all that stuff, I'm not surprised that they pushed this to $300 because, those Joy-Con controllers, you're kind of getting a break. If you think that the Switch core alone would have been $250, and with the controllers and stuff, adding on, because even what they're charging for the dock, I can't explain yet, because the dock is ridiculous. The dock is just like a fucking, it's just a thing to get it on your TV, and then how much is an AC adapter for the power and stuff like that. That's a whole nother story. I don't know. So I mean, say the core of the Switch was $250, or could be. You're getting $80 in there. You're getting a thing that's $90 in there. So, I mean, for $50, we thought it was going to be $250. So, for $50 more, explaining all this new technology and stuff, it kind of makes sense. So, there's a little discussion about the Switch itself also. But let me know what you guys think. Is this stuff still too expensive? All this new technology and a couple of extra things added in there is enough to charge people an extra $10 for these controllers? Do you think that it's actually not that much more for what they're actually giving you or for what they're adding to these things? Let me know what you guys think, and let me know after hearing this if you do feel a little better knowing the information and knowing what technology is in this stuff, and if it kind of now, like I said, if it kind of makes sense to you and you feel a little better about spending the extra 10 on this stuff. Like I said, we still have a bunch of time left until the Switch comes out, maybe a couple of lifetimes. Who knows, maybe one lifetime, whatever, but you can still save up, plenty of time to do that. So if you need to save up that extra $10, save up some money, continue to do it. And guys, this is Joey JCM, and hey, I will see you. I can't wait for the fucking Switch. Later. Wow.